Safe, a short term for a very complicated topic. It describes the condition of being free from harm or other non-desirable outcomes. But what is considered harmful? Who identifies what is and is not a risk? What trade-offs are made in the pursuit of safety? The 2020 justice uprisings, spurred by the murder of George Floyd, brought these questions to the forefront of public discourse. The movement to reimagine public safety was invigorated. Municipalities all over the world created task forces to reevaluate the role of public safety, and activists pushed forward proposals for new funding priorities and community-driven interventions. At this critical time, while we have the momentum to change this broken system, what should the future look like? How we individually perceive and define safety can change drastically from person to person, shaped by factors like race, gender, socioeconomic status, age, sexual orientation, and more. Therefore, our ideas for the future of safety will be similarly affected by how we move through the world. How can we begin to capture some of those ideas to imagine a world that works for all of us? This is where Safe Futures comes in, a participatory exercise designed to collectively reimagine public safety. The structure and format of the game is inspired by Afro Rhythms from the Future, a storytelling card game developed by Lonnie Brooks and game developer Eli Kaminsky, facilitated by Ahmad Best. The game challenges the white patriarchal lens of society to uplift alternative perceptions of the world that center Black and BIPOC perspectives. So, how do you play? Step 1. Gather a group of friends and identify a facilitator. The facilitator helps to moderate the game, asking questions and identifying conflicts. Step 2. Pick your tension cards. Tension cards identify a significant issue or trend to speculatively explore. What happens if it increases/dominates or decreases/disappears? These cards will guide the game. Step 3. Establish the matrix for the universe. What kind of world should we aspire to live in? Where should our tensions intersect?
Like Octavia Butler has a book, Parables of the Sower, where the main character is like a hyper empath. And so it's like you can reach a state of empathy where you feel somebody else's emotions so much that it like overwhelms you. So I guess empathy can reach a place where it's like debilitating.
What would be the tensions in a world that is like super, super highly accountable to the public?
Fear. I think, everyone would be so scared because they would be held accountable that it would almost be like debilitating in a way.
Step 4. Now it's time to get creative. Everyone receives a set of inspiration cards and object cards. Inspiration cards are prompts meant to inspire change in movement, method, or mood. Object cards are basic items or institutions familiar to players. How might this form change shape in the future? Create combinations between inspiration cards and object cards to reimagine the future of safety.
Rehabilitation and meter. I was thinking like each person, if they so choose they can reveal their meter of rehabilitative need. So like, if there's really suffering, you can kind of see that. And that would also play into both empathy and accountability, because you can almost like see what the person is feeling, not by emotion, but just by like degree.
The meter like reminds me of Ben's idea in a way that like we're all on journeys rather than like these final destinations. And there's something about like having a meter that I think like indicates that more, because you're like, oh, okay, this person's like at this point in their journey, and this is like a lifelong thing that they're experiencing, not something that can be just like fixed in one day.
Yeah, maybe you could even like add something to it that's like how much like help you want, or like how much, like not only like the feeling or the intensity you're having, but like how much you want people to intervene, or how much like you would find it helpful for somebody to intervene, because that could also add to the public accountability if it's like it's like putting the ask out there. And especially for people who have difficulty verbalizing that, like it could be another way to like directly express that.
Let's see, it was a button and housing, and I was just thinking of like the safety at home, and especially with like COVID, some like domestic safety in terms of like domestic violence that maybe you're not that comfortable voicing, but if there was a button at your house that like secretly connects to some neighbors or some people that you could like alert to. And then I was thinking, it even doesn't just have to be for domestic violence, but it could be like a button where you're saying, hey, I'm having a really hard day today. I don't really want to talk to anybody, but it would be so awesome if you have some extra food, if you could give me a plate, and then like next week I'll give you a plate or something.
This is kind of similar to Aleph Mina's the street lamp idea, but I had public art and, again, smartphone app. But I hate how all the buildings in America are so blank compared to some other countries. And I feel like all of those buildings are opportunities to be used for art. And again, kind of similar to that building, but I feel like it'd be so cool if you could use your phone to write messaging or images that would somehow get projected onto different buildings in a city. And it could be related about, like, it'd be like about themes or things that are going on in politics. So you could like have commentary and it would like rotate, and everyone's ideas you would just like submit on your phone and it would get projected on different blank spaces.
Kindergarten and hat. You can put on a hat and it'll immediately take you back to kindergarten, but still in like your same like capacity to understand and rationalize, but with that like kind of childhood innocence, naivety, and empathy.
These are just a sample of the over 20 ideas we discussed while playing the game. Imagine what you could create with a sample size larger than 5 graduate students at the GSD. By encouraging play and imagination, grounded in a sense of empathy, how can we co-create a safe future for all?